Hello, and welcome to episode... Hold on, what episode is this? Episode 28. Oh my god. Hello, and welcome to episode 28 of my blind Let's Play of The Witness. Man, I just keep getting so many friggin' comments on these videos. So this might be another... God, that red. This might be another reading viewer comments video. Let me just get through them all. There's a freaking bunch of them. Let's start from the beginning. I enjoy reading these comments, so yeah, episode 28 might be another reading viewer comments one. And yes, I recognize that yesterday I was getting pretty upset at this room. You know, I was a little cranky. Maybe I didn't have my nap. Maybe I didn't have my afternoon bottle or whatever it was. But I was calmly thinking about it last night, how to go about these puzzles, and I think it's not quite as difficult as I was making it seem in my head. So yeah, but anyway, let's read some viewer comments. Let's see what you all have to say to me. So David, what the hell is his name? Yeah, YouTube's so interesting. Sometimes YouTube tells you someone's like actual name that they have associated with their Google account, and then sometimes it gives you their username. So David Phillips, on part 1 of this Let's Play, aka Xantir Tasa, the guy who asked, did you try Super Mario Odyssey, in response to me saying that my favorite video game of all time is Super Mario 64. He says, in response to me talking about how I enjoyed Odyssey, and that one of the things I enjoy about Odyssey that's similar to Mario 64 is like the parkour aspect, where Mario just has tons of really crazy movement options, and the more you play the game, the better you can get with it. I would say Mario Odyssey is like second place to Mario 64 in terms of that. So big compliment to Mario Odyssey, really great game. Xantir Tasa says, I only ever played 64 on the DS, so it might have been a subpar experience, LOL, but still fun. Yeah, a massively subpar experience, but I'm glad at least you got to experience it. He says, I think Odyssey was my favorite Mario game, but I didn't have any Nintendo other than Game Boy growing up. My favorite games are The Witness and Dark Souls, but I also have a thing for physics skill games. I'm going to comment, if you enjoy physics skill games, maybe consider hunting down a Nintendo GameCube and Super Monkey Ball 1. One of my favorite games of all time, and an undercredited game in terms of reviving old school gaming difficulty in the same way that Demon's Souls did in 2009. Cool. Yeah, Super Monkey Ball, the very first one for the GameCube launch game, incredible game. This is from 2001, the GameCube came out. Super difficult, absolutely physics-based, absolutely, you could call it like a puzzle kind of game. Super Monkey Ball, you're rolling a ball with a monkey in it, and you have to get it to the end of the level. That's all Super Monkey Ball is. It's just the levels get harder and harder and harder. And you actually don't, all you use is the left analog stick, and you don't actually control the monkey, you control the tilt of the level. So it's like those old school like Labyrinth game with the marbles inside of the little wooden maze. Anyway, so that's that comment replied to. Thank you for the comment, David, aka Xantir. Really appreciate talking about cool video games. Josh Payne on episode 21. Okay, he's talking about this TV show he recommended to us all called The Queen's Gambit. So he says, beginning in the mid-1950s and proceeding into the 1960s, the story follows the life of Beth Harmon, Anya Taylor-Joy. Okay, she's hot. I remember her with the wide face. Beth Harmon, a fictional American chess prodigy on her rise to the top of the chess world while struggling with drug and alcohol dependency. I'm going to say interesting. I like that actress. Maybe I will check it out one day. So I'm actually not a huge, so that was my reply to his comment. I'm not a huge TV movie kind of person. Well, it's just when it comes to anything, video games, books, TV, movies, etc., I'm very picky. So yeah, I don't always watch tons of stuff. Certain things I really love, like Stranger Things, really love that. I just watched a show on Disney Plus called Wayward Pines. It's apparently based off of a book. The first season of Wayward Pines was like incredible. Season 2, which is the last season, was kind of meh in my opinion, but season 1 was like phenomenal. Wow, I have so many comments. This is amazingly insane and insanely amazing. Yeah, episode 28 is going to be a pure comments episode, so I appreciate you sticking around with me for that. I will do my best to kind of wander around with the character, even though I will be coming back here. I'll do my best to just kind of wander and fidget so that my controller doesn't turn off and my mic doesn't turn off, and also just to give you all something to look at. Okay, next we've got Chris Seitz on episode 16. So Chris Seitz is someone who started watching a little bit after and is like slowly catching up. Oh, he even says that in this comment. So Chris Seitz says, for the 100%, there is nothing missable, but let's say there's a reason why a 99.8% speedrun category exists. He says, I won't be spoiling any of why unless that is ever wanted. Okay, I appreciate you not spoiling why, but that is interesting. Obviously, there's some little detail that is like way out of the way or something. He says, also, as you already saw with the octopus in the sand outside the castle in the water, there are many Easter eggs hidden in this game. Yes, I don't remember that readily from so many episodes ago, but very cool, very cool. Yeah, if I don't reply to any of your comments directly on the comment, then that's because it just seems easier to respond in terms of voice like this. So Chris Seitz on part 17 says, unlocks the shortcut down, takes the slowest fuck ramps down anyway, 2832. Okay, so he's trolling me. Oh. That is pretty funny. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I was over in the quarry area and I unlocked a shortcut and then took the super slow way regardless. I'll put some kind of comment with a laughing face. Outside. Okay, I put I am so SMRT. I'm just as smart as Homer Simpson. Okay. Next comment. Yeah, thank you guys all for these comments. This is really fun for me. This is really, really cool. Chris Seitz, part 19. Okay, 2 comments here from Chris Seitz on part 19. Chris Seitz says, Jonathan Blow is just a genius. For everyone who doesn't know, Jonathan Blow is the creator of this game. Is just a genius when it comes to anticipating what the first solution you come up with in a puzzle. So he redoes the same puzzle with gaps in the grid to make the previous solution not possible anymore. 100%. I keep seeing that over and over. Yeah, it's very smart. It's very, as you play this game, I find like it's almost like having a conversation with Jonathan Blow. It's like he's like, oh, you thought of this. Very well done. Did you think of this? And you're like, oh, interesting. I see. Let me see what I do with this. Chris continues, I think I never got the solution that would have worked for both on the first puzzle. Right, yeah. Typically, I mean, that's the way it goes. Unless you're a crazy puzzle person, even if there are 2 puzzles in a row where the second one requires a more complicated solution that would have technically worked on the first one, I mean, who's going to come up with that solution on the first one when there's an easier one available, you know? Okay. Yeah, I was just replying to that. I should reply to some of these just to let people know that I am replying more thoroughly in the actual episode itself. Okay, so... Okay, Chris Seitz, also in episode 19, said, speaking of a chess player doing this blind, which is something I was speaking about obviously in this episode, I was kind of saying, like, some people are just really a lot better at seeing multiple moves ahead and being able to hold, like, a fluctuating chessboard position, like, just all in their head, like people like Hikaru Nakamura, not so much me. Chris Seitz says, speaking of a chess player doing this blind, I recently saw a guy that solves Sudokus on YouTube. Cracking the Cryptic is apparently the channel. Play this game blind, and how fast they were just blazing through the puzzles while apologizing for being too slow. What? So it's someone maybe that already is good at speed running it, and they just managed to, like, practice speed running it blindfold or something. That's crazy. I'm gonna write in my reply, that's crazy. Have you ever seen Sinister One? Sinister One is a speedrunner. Blind play Punch Out for NES. That's pretty fun. Watching, I'm pretty sure it's Sinister One that's done blindfold. Maybe Zallard as well. Probably a bunch of players have done it by now. Okay, cool. That was that. God, there are a lot of comments. Okay, Josh Payne in part 25. Comments. Oh yeah, there's a lot of comments on part 25. Makes sense since this was another viewer comments episode. Josh Payne says, Ann Arbor is in southeastern Michigan, just 30 to 45 minutes west of Detroit, but just far enough to not be quote-unquote part of Detroit. Okay, so Ann Arbor is like the next kind of place outside of Detroit if you're heading west. University of Michigan football, the Wolverines, is a big thing from Ann Arbor. Right on. Well, that's cool. Now I know that. Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of like, you know, Toronto, like Hamilton. Hamilton is kind of the first city southwest of Toronto. It's about 45 minutes away, and it's kind of the first city considered not to be part of the GTA, even though Burlington right beside it is sort of considered part of the greater Toronto area, so makes sense. Josh Payne again in part 25 says, when you're reading the comments from part 20, you missed one of my comments, probably because of YouTube's default top comments sort by option. If you switch the sort by to newest first, you'll see the rest of them. That's annoying. Okay, let me go back to number 25 then. Or sorry, number 20. Or wait, what episode was it that I missed it in? Let's go back. Oh, comments from part 20. Okay, comments from part 20. Let's go. Okay. Yes. Josh Payne says in episode 20, my other musical passion is Christian music, particularly Christian rock, but I have broad eclectic musical taste. So I like Christian music of all genres. So alternative rock and grunge, modern rock, ska and rockabilly, emo, traditional gospel, rapcore, new metal, retro worship, shoegaze, hard rock, punk, old school hip hop, swing, electro, EDM, psychedelia, hairband metal, new wave, classic rock, blues rock, salsa, hardcore, modern worship, modern hip hop, folk, operatic metal, hipster, metalcore, western gospel, soft rock, death metal, contemporary, and modern gospel. I mean, to be fair, haven't we covered every musical genre under the sun at that point after that list? Christian music exists in all these wildly diverse genres, and I've spent a ton of time working on Spotify playlists to collect and categorize what's out there. I'm kind of like a Christian music historian at this point. Here's one that showcases all of the genres I mentioned above, spending 16 to 18 songs on each genre before moving on. Holy crap, man! 16 to 18 of all those genres of Christian, like, insert genre here. That's enormous, man. You're really going hard on those Spotify playlists. Obviously, that is something meaningful to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't spend so much time on it. I mean, that's cool. I'm not Christian personally. I don't like the way, like, every other religion under the sun these days is, like, worshipped or has, like, some fascination about it, and then Christianity is just, like, totally shit on, when meanwhile Christianity is, like, responsible for, like, the stability and the balance of people, like, trying to work together and not kill each other that has resulted in, you know, the modern Western world, which is, like, the freest, happiest part of the world. Like, I associate that with Christianity, and I don't like how in the last 10 years or so, like, it, you know, when I was growing up, I was, like, an atheist for a while, and it was, like, it's always been kind of cool and popular to be rebellious in our culture. So, like, anti-Christian stuff has been on the rise for quite a long time. And, you know, I kind of bought into it when I was younger. Now when I'm older, I just find everything a lot more interesting. I find history interesting. I find study of different religions interesting. And I find, like, you know, there are obviously some weird Christian people, just as there are some weird people in all other groups. But in general, I find Christians very, like, friendly. I like how they stick together in a sense of community. And, like, I find it, again, to reiterate what I was saying at the beginning, I find it totally ridiculous and absurd that it's like, just, it couldn't be more popular to make fun of Christianity and to totally shit on Christianity. But if you make fun of, or like, even if you just, like, totally rationally criticize Islam or Judaism, for example, like, you literally get treated like you're Hitler. And so I don't like that aspect of things in modern culture. So that's what I will say about that. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff in the Bible. I think there's a lot of stupid stuff in the Bible. But I find Christianity pretty interesting. And that's what I have to say. I find a lot of ancient traditions pretty interesting, though. I like old mythologies and native traditions and anything. You know, I think the history of planet Earth that we're told is a very limited and obscure version of what has actually happened on this planet. Like, when the Bible says, like, ancient aliens came here because they were all, like, something was wrong with them and they, like, tried to take over this planet, or did take over this planet, and that information coincides with, like, what all these other ancient traditions say, like, I believe that. You know, I believe what the ancients were trying to tell us, that that something wrong is on this planet, and that we're, like, being controlled surreptitiously by, like, these, like, weird, like, evil genius aliens that manipulate us from behind the scenes and blah blah blah. Anyway, thank you for letting me know about the 40 different genres of Christian music that you're into. I mean, that is a shitload of genres. But that's cool, man. If that's what you're into, that's great. And you're doing a service for people by curating that Spotify playlist that other people can enjoy. So thanks for letting me know about that comment. Hopefully I don't miss any other comments. If there's any comments that I miss of people's because of the weird YouTube comment sorting algorithm, definitely feel free to let me know. Josh Payne also says in part 25, the timing of the audio cutout worked out okay. Right, because on my last comment reading episode number 25, I let the controller go to sleep by accident, but it happened only right at the end, only as I was getting on to Josh's last comment, which I wound up covering in the next episode anyway, so it worked out. Indeed, Josh continues, you got through all the comments except for the last one with various thoughts about the game, but for that one, you'll probably review the bits that apply to various places when you revisit those places, so not a big deal. Exactly. He said, and you did mention what comment you were starting to read on what episode, so any future viewers should be able to find it for themselves if they want. Absolutely. Good stuff. Let us continue getting through these comments. A new subscriber, 2 likes. Someone named 2 likes with a little Squirtle drawing as their profile picture. Thank you for subscribing. Really appreciate it. Let's check out Sarvesh. Sarvesh's reply comment from part 1. Because I asked him about... what did I say? I said I really love Dark Souls 2, but many fans think it's a weaker game in the series. What do you think? Sarvesh says... oh, I absolutely love Dark Souls 2. The open-ish world structure, dual wielding, spells variety, allowing stats reallocation, New Game Plus added a lot to the replay value for me. I've played through with 5 different characters in the past 3 months. Love it. I love Dark Souls 2. I'm going to reply and say I really enjoyed the world structure as well. The way you can choose what branch to take from Majula and complete the game in whatever order you wish is very cool for me. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, Dark Souls 2, like, I just, hopefully Sarvesh hears this comment eventually. He makes it through and hears this, so I don't have to type out everything in the actual comment, like, reply to his comment. But, yeah, Dark Souls 2, I just found had a really excellent atmosphere. I mean, I played the PS3 version, and it almost looks like, I don't know, it reminded me almost of PS2 graphics. I liked that it didn't have like super polished, super amazing graphics, because then they weren't like focused too much on the graphics, which I think sometimes in the modern games they do get too focused on graphics. Yeah, the atmosphere of Dark Souls 2 is really, really cool, and I love the branching paths. How there are 3 or 4 different branching paths you can take from the initial area, and you can complete the game in a lot of different orders. Okay, Josh Payne commenting on 27. Yeah, the colored room puzzle in town is hard. I struggled with the color elevator, remember? So I didn't struggle with the colored room only because I had previously looked up how to understand the colored elevator. There's no shame in walking away from this one for now if it's frustrating you. But if you are feeling confused and seek understanding for this one, the colored elevator is the place to go get it. Absolutely. I think, like I said, after getting frustrated on it last night and then stopping and thinking about it while I wasn't playing, I think I know kind of how to go about figuring it out just by looking at the pictures I took. So yeah, hopefully I'll get that. Appreciate the comment. Josh Payne says in episode 26, I feel really bad that I caused you more stress when my intention was to save you a bit of frustration. And I got the message that I had gone a bit too far with the smudge versus shadow explanation. I was worried that you would not think to try tracing shadows again simply because you thought you had done it already. Okay, no, I appreciate it, Josh. I appreciate you getting my message, but yeah, all good. What am I going to reply and say? All good, man. I get stressed from time to time. I wouldn't blame yourself for it. Yeah, I get frustrated from just having to go and seek out all these crazy puzzles, and it does get a bit overwhelming, but that would be happening regardless of whether I had somebody like commenting on my videos or not. I would just be frustrated. Without any hints, I would be frustrated by a lack of information, and I would just be kind of like tearing my hair out as I wander the silence. So there is a balance to it about, you know, not sharing too much but sharing some. But yeah, yeah, so that's all good. I have a bunch of fucking comments still to get through. That's crazy. Okay, so Chris cites in episode 20, if you still haven't managed to get that door, I recommend looking at all the solved puzzles of that area again, and maybe remember one mechanic that was used quite a few times already. What door was I struggling to get through in part 20?
For one anyway. Yeah, I don't know how I can make
I'm not too sure what that one is, but I mean, that's generally good advice. That's generally good advice to go re-explore other puzzles that use the similar solution style. So thank you, Chris. Chris says, in part 22, the smudges might be a brightness problem again, as they were visible quite clearly in the video. Fair enough. If I have to deal with those sun smudge problems again, or any where I'm having a trouble with the visuals, perhaps I should turn the brightness down again. That's a good call out there. In 25, episode 25, Chris Seitz says, if you liked Hollow Knight as well as exploration-style games, I can recommend The Messenger as well as its prequel, Sea of Stars, although this one is an RPG. I'm going to reply via text here. I'm going to say, yes, I have heard of The Messenger. I'm going to put in brackets. Apparently, it's similar to Ninja Gaiden. That's what I've heard. The Messenger is kind of like a Ninja Gaiden Metroidvania, almost. Or maybe not even a Metroidvania. And apparently, Sea of Stars is really, really good. I just have a backlog from hell, like most gamers. Haha. Hopefully one day, and thanks for the recommendation. Like I said, I haven't even beaten Hollow Knight. I'm like 95% of the way through Hollow Knight, and I just stopped and got distracted. So yeah, backlog from hell. David Phillips, aka Xantir Tassa, 2 hours ago on episode 9. Oh, he says, too much trial and error, but thanks for recording this. It's fun to watch. You have good patience and puzzle solving skills. Awesome. I'm going to say, thanks for the compliments, and sorry for the trial and error, lol. I am figuring out some of the puzzle aspects I missed as I continue the journey. Yeah, cool. I think I'm getting close to the end of these. Okay, Chris Seitz, finally caught up. This is only 1 hour ago on part 27. Also, if you ever need hints for sparkly puzzles, there is a hint guide for it that only ever gives one hint after another, making it increasingly more obvious where it is and how you can get it. But YouTube doesn't like the link for some reason, so if you are ever interested, I can send it via Twitter or email. Interesting. I'm going to reply to this and say, interesting. If you feel like it, go ahead and email it to me, and I will use it if I get desperate. Haha. Okay. Finally caught up. Okay. Then after that, the only other comments I've got... Oh, David Phillips, 18 minutes ago. What did I just say to him? Oh, he says, thanks, maybe I will, about Super Monkey Ball. Dude, if you play Super Monkey Ball, if you're into physics-based puzzle games, I mean, shit, dude, that's the one. Super Monkey Ball 2 is like... Super Monkey Ball 1 is like an 11 out of 10 game. Super Monkey Ball 2 is like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Super Monkey Ball 1, the puzzles are all extremely well designed, and it's just all about having like a fine thumb skill on the analog and really understanding like how to manipulate this monkey through the levels. Super Monkey Ball 2 introduced a lot of like crazy randomness where like parts of the level you'd be going through would just be moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, so you kind of just have to guess when is a good time to roll past it and stuff. Yeah, Monkey Ball 1 is the far more finely tuned game. But anyway, that's it. Okay, so that's half an hour. That's crazy. That's it. Okay, let's end this episode here. Thank you for basically listening to episode, what the hell is this, 28 of my blind Let's Play of The Witness. my third episode dedicated exclusively to reading user comments. I really like the interaction. I like that people are into this run. Hopefully the next game I pick, because the other games I picked so far had smaller amounts of people interacting. This game, I guess just due to the nature of it, people wanting to see someone puzzle their way through this island blindly is just a good candidate for a let's play like this. So I really appreciate the interaction. Please continue to comment, share, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I want to make this channel huge eventually, as everybody does who's trying to make a YouTube channel for themselves. Eventually I will stream on Twitch, so I'll be streaming in real time. I can interact with people in real time. My Twitch will feed my YouTube will feed my Twitch, etc. Part of the reason why I do this is because I just don't have people to hang out with and express my thoughts with in real life most of the time, honestly. I've always been a deep thinker ever since I was a little kid, and I always have a lot of thoughts to express. Obviously I have a little bit of the gift of gab, so this is a great outlet for me to give my thoughts on the video games I play, which I'd be playing them anyway even if I wasn't doing the Let's Play, so I might as well record it and hopefully entertain some people, share some of my thoughts, get some of my millions and millions of thoughts off my chest, as well as talking about myself, my life, talking to other people about their lives, talking about politics and philosophy and, religion and spiritual practices and all kinds of other crazy crap that interests me. Just about everything in life I find interesting to some degree or another. And I always have some kind of thought to share. So I really appreciate everything. Constructive criticism is appreciated greatly. Compliments are appreciated. Non-spoiler help on games is generally appreciated. I mean, I don't want crazy backseating, but I appreciate, I want this experience. I enjoy the experience of friends gathered on a couch playing a video game together and helping each other and just shooting the shit or whatever. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for here. Hopefully I'm providing something resembling that. And that's it. So that's the end of episode 28. I will see you in episode 29, which I will start immediately after ending this one, and I will actually continue on this game, and I will solve these freaking puzzles here, and then I'll continue to move on. So thanks, and see you in episode 29. Hope your day is going extremely well. Let me know about it in the comments. Peace out.